Hey guys, welcome back to Alice's Kitchen. Today we are doing a special edition. I'm making something special. This has been requested by so many people, and because I'm doing a special edition, I've got another surprise for you. I've got a guest in Alice's Kitchen today. I've got a friend of mine who's going to be joining me. Priscilla, welcome to Alice's Kitchen. Help me welcome Priscilla. Priscilla is my good friend. Welcome to Alice's
Hey guys.
Kitchen, Priscilla.
Hope you enjoyed the video.
So today we are going to be making dinner rolls, and if you come from Zimbabwe like me, these are known as mabanzi. So I'll tell you what we've got here, what we are going to be using. We've got 3 3/4 cup of bread flour. You can also use just plain flour. We've got 4 tablespoons of sugar. And this here is a roux. It's been made by mixing 1/3 cup of flour with 1 cup water. You mix it on the stove until it's thick, it's got a nice consistency, and then you've got to leave it to cool down to room temperature. I've got a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of yeast, I've got an egg, I've got 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to melt this butter. The recipe requires melted butter. I haven't done it yet because I need to do it just before I mix it. And I've got 3/4 cup milk. This is going to be lukewarm milk. So just before I use the milk, I'm going to warm it up for the recipe. So without wasting time, let's get baking. Priscilla, are you ready? Yes. So now we're ready, Priscilla. That's our flour. If you can put that in. And then we've got our sugar and the salt and the yeast. Just make sure you don't put the yeast and the salt together because it kills the bread. So now just mix that, lightly mix. Once you've mixed, you can make a well in the middle, and we are going to add our 4 tablespoons melted butter, 3/4 cup lukewarm milk, our egg, and if you just want to give that a good mix, Priscilla, before we add the next thing. And now, Priscilla, I'm gonna give you the secret ingredient that ensures that your bread rolls are nice and soft. That's a roux. And if you want to know how this is made, check in the description box. And it has cooled down to room temperature. So if you can just mix that in as well, just make sure it's well mixed. Okay, so now our mixture is ready. Just show them, you can just tilt the bowl so they can see. And at this point, this is when you get to the kneading stage. If you don't have a mixer, you can do it by hand, and you'll be kneading for about 15 minutes by hand. And so you need to do it on a flat surface, but because we've got a standing mixer, we're gonna be using our mixer to do it. And I know most of you think because it's dinner rolls, it's bread, you use a door hook. I'm using a different attachment today just to show you that it's still possible to do it without a door hook. So now we are going to our mixer. Now we are just fitting our attachment, which is the whisking attachment that we are going to use. Turn the mixer on to high speed, and you just want to let it mix, or rather knead, for about 5 minutes. You will know when it's ready. The dough will start to come off from the side, and it will all sort of collect on the attachment that you will be using for mixing. So I will show you when that part comes. It's starting to happen now slowly. As you can see now, the dough is coming off the sides and it's coming onto the attachment, that shows that it's ready. It also has to be nice, stretchy and elastic. So I'll show you that as well once the mixer has stopped, but that's a clue that your dough is ready, and that's been about 5 minutes. So now Priscilla is just gonna show you, see that it's nice, stretchy and elastic. That shows that it's ready, it's done, and she's just gonna scrape it off, and you can see it's very stretchy, and that's the consistency that you want. So the secret to making sure that your dinner rolls come out nice is making sure that you knead them properly. If you under knead, they will not be nice and soft, they'll be hard. So from here, our dough is ready for proofing. So we're just going to cover, and we're going to put it in a warm place for an hour to an hour and a half. It depends on where you are, but the clue for you to know that it's ready, it's supposed to double in size. So once it's done, we will show you. Okay, so we are back. Our dough has doubled in size, as you can see. So now we are going to roll the dough into a ball-like shape to make the bread rolls, and we are just going to show you how we do that. You just need to flour the surface that you will be using. So I'm just putting some flour, and you can just use a normal knife to cut your dough. So just to make sure that all the air has come out, you just punch it out, and then you just knead it lightly. Okay, and once you've got that, you want to cut it. So we are making 12 dinner rolls. So you just cut up your dough using the knife. It's easy if you cut it into 4, and then you divide the 4 into 4 as well, so you can have 12. So now you want to make a ball and make sure it's tight at the bottom. You can see what Priscilla is doing there to make it tight. And then once that's ready, you pop it into your tray. So you keep making your balls, making sure they're nice and smooth and round, so you can sort of roll them on the floured board to make sure that they are nice and smooth, and just leave a bit of space when you're arranging them in the tray, because they will go for a second proofing, and then that's when all the space will be filled up. So you can see now that they are all ready. All of the 12 are in the tray. You can see in that tray that there's gaps that we have left. Those gaps are for when they rise, they will fill up all that space. And you want to make sure that there's that space, because it allows the rolls to just rise and fill up all those gaps. And you want them to rise till they're about 3/4 in size, and then you cover your tray with a cling wrap. I am going to spray it with oil. The reason why I spray with oil is so that when the roux rise, the dough doesn't stick onto the cling wrap. So now we are just going to cover with that cling wrap. Make sure it's nice and tight on the sides, and then you will also put a cloth on top. And now that's ready to go into a warm place for the second proof. Second proofing is done. Now our roux are ready to go into the oven. And this is the mistake that most people make. After they rise the first time, they just rush to go put them in the oven. But this is where the trick is. Make sure you leave them to rise again a second time. This took 45 minutes. And whilst they were rising, I was preheating my oven to 200, and that's with a fan. When you're making dinner rolls, you have to make sure that your oven is really hot, otherwise they will flop and they won't come out. So now we are gonna pop them in the oven, and they will be in there for approximately 15 minutes. And once they come out, we are going to glaze them with sugar, and this is done straight from the oven, so have that ready. I'm going to quickly make a glaze by mixing 2 tablespoons of sugar with 1 tablespoon of water, and I'll pop that in the microwave for 20 seconds. Out and look at them. They look nice and brown and beautiful. And I am just going to quickly brush them with the glaze. That gives them that nice shiny color. So you want to brush all of them with your brush, and I will also show you a trick. If you don't have a brush, you can use a paper towel, just dip it in the glaze and just use it to brush. Also works just the same. And there you've got all of your dinner rolls nice and shiny. They've been glazed, and just look at how beautiful they look.